Hello everyone. I am Prabhake, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, Bengaluru. Today we'll have a discussion on basic input and output operations of computer organization and architecture subject. Introduction. We know that the I/O subsystem of a computer provides an efficient mode of communication between the central system and the outside environment. It handles all input-output operations of the computer system. Input-output system transfer information between computer main memory and outside world. An I/O system is composed of I/O devices, which are also called as peripherals, I/O control units, and software to carry out I/O transactions through a sequence of I/O operations. Basic input-output operations. We already know that there are instructions to transfer information between the processor and the memory. Instructions are there to perform arithmetic and logical operations. Instructions are needed for program sequencing and flow control. Dedicated instructions for input and output operations which transfer data from processor or memory to and from the real world. In general, the rate of transfer from any input device to the processor or from the processor to any output device is likely to be slower than the speed of the processor. The difference in speed makes it necessary to create mechanisms to synchronize the data transfer between the processor and the I/O devices. Now, consider a simple task of reading a character from a keyboard and displaying the character on a display screen. A simple way of performing the task is called as program controlled I/O. There are two separate blocks of instructions in the I/O program that performs this task. First one block of instructions are needed to transfer the character into the processor from keyboard. Another block of instruction causes the character to be displayed on the monitor. Now, consider a diagram where we can see the processor is connected to the system bus. Along with the processor, there are two I/O devices. One is keyboard and another is a display. Keyboard module consists of a flag bit which is called as SIN, status in, which is of 1 bit wide. Along with that, there is a buffer register which is called as data in buffer register. In a display module, we have SOUT flag bit or a status out flag bit which is of 1 bit wide, and there is a data out buffer register. Coming to the input. When a key is struck on the keyboard, an 8-bit character code is stored in the buffer register of the keyboard called as data in. A status control flag SIN is set to 1 to indicate that a valid character is present in the data buffer register data in. A program monitors SIN and SIN is set to 1 when the processor reads the content from the data in. When the character is transferred to the processor, SIN is automatically cleared. Initial state of SIN is always 0. And how will be the output process is carried out? When S out is equal to 1, the display is ready to receive the character. A program in the computer software monitors the S out, and when S out is set to 1, the processor transfers character code to the buffer register of the display module, that is data out register. Transfer of character code to data out clears S out flag bit to 0. Initial state of S out is considered as 1. Buffer register data in and data out, and the status flags S in and S out are part of the circuitry known as device interface. Accessing of I/O device. Consider a number of I/O devices designated as I/O device 1, I/O device 2 up to I/O device n, which are connected to the computer system through a single bus. This is the processor and is the memory, which is also connected to the system bus. Multiple I/O devices may be connected to the processor and the memory via bus. Bus consists of 3 sets of lines to carry address, data and control signals. Each I/O device is assigned a unique address. To access an I/O device, the processor places the address on the address lines, and the device recognizes the address and responds to the control signal sent by the processor. I/O device is connected to the bus using I/O interface circuit, which has 3 modules in it. One is address decoder, control circuit and data and status register. Address decoder decodes address placed on the address lines, thus enabling the I/O device to recognize its address. Data register, that is the data in and data out, holds the data being transferred to or from the processor. Status register, S in and S out, holds information necessary for the operation of I/O device. Data and status register are connected to the data lines. Control circuit receive and transmit the control signal through the control line. This is the diagram where you can find out the complete picture of bus, I/O interface and the input device. Bus consists of 3 sets of lines: address lines, data lines, control lines. I/O interface consists of 3 modules: address decoder, control circuit, data and status register. And this is your input device, which is capable of giving the input to the processor. This is the block diagram for I/O interface for an output device. This is your bus consisting of 3 sets of lines. This is I/O interface consisting of modules. Output device capable of receiving the output signal from the processor. What are the types of I/O operations? There are 2 types of input-output operations: program controlled I/O operations, memory mapped I/O operations. Coming to the program controlled I/O operations. To perform I/O transfer, we need machine instructions. Monitor the status of the status register, S in and S out. We need an I/O instructions to monitor the status of S in and S out. Transfer the data among I/O devices and the processor. Instructions have a similar format to that of the instruction used for moving the data between the processor and the memory. Now consider an example where the processor can monitor the keyboard status flag, that is SIN, and transfer the character from data in register to the internal general purpose register R1 by following the sequence of operations: read, wait, branch to read wait if sign is equal to 0. So sin is equal to 0. Here, as long as sin is 0, indicating there is no any input given from the keyboard, your processor will continuously monitoring the sin by keeping itself in a read condition. Now, once the sin becomes 1, indicating a valid input from the keyboard, the processor comes out of this branch instruction and execute data transfer from data in register to the R1, indicating a valid data by sin is equal to 1. For this operation, 2 machine cycles are used. First one to test the status flag. Second one to perform the branch operation. In a program controlled IO operation, the processor monitors the status flag register by executing a wait loop and proceeds to transfer the input data when sin is set to 1 as a result of key being pressed in the keyboard. The input operation resets sin to 0. In a program controlled IO operation, the sequence of operations are used to transfer output to the display. This is the instruction wait up to a write signal, branch to write wait if SOUT is 0. When SOUT becomes 1, indicating that output device is ready to receive the data, then transfer the data from R1, an internal general purpose register, to the data out buffer register of the display device. In this operation, the branch instruction is implemented using 2 machine instructions. The wait loop is executed repeatedly until the SOUT is set to 1 by the device, that is output device, when it is free to receive a character. The output operation transfers character from R1 internal general purpose register to the data out buffer register of the display in order to display the character on the monitor. This transfer clears SOUT to 0. Coming to the memory mapped IO operations, when IO devices and memory share same address space, the entire arrangement we call it as memory mapped IO. With memory mapped IO, any machine instruction that can access memory can be used to transfer data to or from an IO device. Most of the computer systems use memory mapped IO technique. Some processors have special in and out instruction to perform IO operations. Continuing with the memory mapped IO operations, many computers use an arrangement called as memory mapped IO, in which some memory address values are used to refer the peripheral device buffer register such as data in and data out. The data can be transferred between these register and processor using the instructions like move, load and store. Example, move byte data in, R1. Here, the content of data in buffer register after the valid input from the keyboard is transferred to the R1. Move byte R1, data out. Using this instruction, a data from the internal general purpose register R1 is moved to the data out address of the memory where your data out buffer register is mapped. The content of R1 is transferred to the data out by the instruction. After the data transfer, the status flag SN and SOUT are automatically cleared when the buffer register data in and data out are referenced respectively. In some computer, SN and SOUT are assigned with a distinct address. There will be registers like in status and out status. For example, bit B3 in status and out status corresponds to S in and S out. respectively. Here you can see in status register the B3 represent S in flag. In out status register B3 bit represent S out flag. The read and write operation sequence are given below. Read operation, read wait, test bit, #3, in status. So test bit is an opcode to test the third bit of in status register. That is, the third bit is your B3. The B3 bit represents the S in flag in order to check whether the valid input from the keyboard. Branch if 0 to read write. If S in flag is 0, branch to the same above instruction. If not, that means S in is 1, move byte from data in to the R1. Similarly, for write operation, write wait, test bit #3 out status. Out status register bit number 3, that is the B3 is tested for its condition. If it is 0, branch to the same instruction. If it is 1, indicating the output device is ready for the receiving of the data, then use this instruction move byte R1, data out, which transfers R1 content to the data out register of the output device. In memory mapped IO operation, a test bit instruction is used to test the state of one bit, that is a B3 bit in status and out status register. If B3 is 0, the condition of the branch instruction is true, branch is made to beginning of the wait loop. When the device is ready to transfer or receive, the respective test bit is equal to 1. Then the data are read from the input buffer or data is written into the output buffer. Thank you.